we're back. Today we're talking about the trial of Tom Robinson.
It was a long and hot summer day at the Macomb County Courthouse in Alabama during the summer of 1935.
Tom Robinson, a black man, was convicted for the rape and abuse of a young white girl named Mayella Violet Ewell.
10 years ago, we were lucky enough to find a few clips from that day, so let's take a look. All rise for the Honorable Judge Taylor.
Thank you. You may be seated. What do we have today, sir?
The case of Tom Robinson, sir.
Very well, let's get to it. The first witness was Heck Tate. He wouldn't really say whether or not he thought Tom was outright guilty. He was questioned, and it was clear that he wasn't going to say it.
After that, it was Bob Ewell who got up, and it's obvious that he thought Tom Robinson was guilty.
Next was the victim, Mayella Ewell. She followed in her father's words, stating that she said, "He got you round the neck, cussing and saying dirt." However, she also seemed to be unsure of her answer, saying, "You never asked him to do odd jobs for you before?" asked Atticus. "I made it," conceded Mayella.
Finally, it was Tom Robinson's turn to come up on the stand. His story was vastly different from everyone else's. In his perspective, he went into defense to help Mayella, and she forced so on him after inviting him inside the house.
Okay, so we're here with the defense lawyer's daughter, named Scout, and our first question for you, Scout, is, do you think Bob and Mayella were lying?
Well, I think they were lying, because they just hated Tom. I don't know why they would. He's a nice man. He don't hate no one.
Yes, I see. Our second question for you is, would you have convicted Tom?
No. As I said, he's a good man, and I don't think he'd hurt anyone.
Okay. Do you think Tom was rightfully convicted?
No. I think Atticus did a good job defending him, even if it don't work.
Thank you. Our final question for you is regarding this new movement called Black Lives Matter. What do you think about them?
I think they're good. They're just trying to stick up for themselves and protect everyone else.
I see. So those are all the questions for you. Next up, we have Mayella Ewell.
Our next guest is Miss Mayella Ewell. Thank you for coming. Our first question for you is, when Atticus questioned you, why were you so unsure of what happened, if it happened to you?
I was just tired from what happened, being injured and severely traumatized. It just affects me and my memory, and I didn't want to recall that painful memory from that day.
I see. Okay, our next question is, did you ever think about running away to avoid your father and the burden of raising your siblings?
No, I have not. I love my father and my siblings, and I wouldn't run away from them because I love them and they're my relatives, and they're all I've got.
Thank you for that answer. Our final question is regarding this new movement called Black Lives Matter. What do you personally think about them?
Black Lives Matter? Ha! They're just Negroes. Why would somebody give a damn about them?
Wow, what an interesting answer. Thank you for taking the time to answer all of our questions.
Next up, we have our final person, Atticus Finch. Thank you for coming. Our first question for you is, how do you feel about losing the trial?
The trial was obviously not going to be a win for us. I knew that right off the beginning. But I still had to try, you know? Like, Tom Robinson deserved a fair chance. Now, he was black, and because of all the prejudice that happens in our town, I knew I wasn't going to win the trial. But, I mean, losing it was just like it felt like I don't know, like it was hard to describe, but I guess it's the problem with our society.
Yes,
you know?
I understand I see. It does eventually get better, though. Our second question for you is, how did you find so many holes in the stories of Bob and Mayella so quickly?
Okay, well, it was kind of thanks to Heck Tate's answer about it not being like about him kind of being in the middle. Had Hecate knew, I know the man, and he would have outright said that Tom was guilty if he had truly believed that. But because he was on the fence, it gave me some suspicion, like maybe this isn't the truth. So as I went on, I knew my client Tom Robinson, and I knew that he was deficient with his left hand, and it was the injuries on Mayella that Hecate described that helped me build off a platform to create so many holes.
I see. Those are very interesting answers. That would be the smart thing to do. Our final question for you, Atticus, is about this new movement called Black Lives Matter. What our viewers would like to know is, what do you think about them and what they do?
Personally, I think they are an amazing thing, but at the same time, it is so upsetting that, even 10 years in the future, we still have these problems of racism. They're still going on. So while I am also thankful at the fact that there is now a huge group. It is not like one or two people doing it. It's this big movement. So even though I am kind of upset that it still happens, I am glad that people are studying and trying to change, or at least in some parts they are.
Well, thanks for coming. This is our last person, and now you know how they were feeling. Back to you, Jane and Melody.
Now that you know what the trial was all about, what do you think? Do you think it was fair that all these problems are still happening today? Was it fair that Tom Robinson was deemed guilty? How long will these problems of prejudice and racism and discrimination keep happening? Will they ever end?
Well, let us know what you think, and just because we have these problems doesn't mean that they should continue.
Oh wait, does that mean go? And we're back. Today we're talking about the case of Tom Robinson's trial.
It was a long and hot summer. Oh no!
And we're back. Today we're talking about the case of Tom Robinson's trial.
It was a long and hot day at Macomb County Courthouse in Alabama during the summer of 1935.
Tom Robinson, a black man, was convicted.
Yeah, I'm gonna just steal this so I know I'm writing down my lines and not some random thing like brooms. And it looks like we actually worked on this page instead of doodle.
You do realize it's your line first, right? Hi.